Welcome to Comic Book Creation Live. This is going to be a Black Widow spoiler discussion, as well as we are drawing pages from our comic book Albatross Junction. This page up on the screen is one of the last pages from issue 1. Volume 1 of Albatross Junction includes issues 1 and 2. Go check it out on Indiegogo.
You.
Kevy Fresh is here.
What's the word, man?
What is going on tonight?
What
How are
is
you?
the good word? You know what's funny? My stomach feels kind of off, so I'm about to drink a Coke, and I got the fucking hat on at the same time. So I look like we're being sponsored by Coke and shit.
Does Diet Coke work for you for that, or you have to
Just
do
regular fucking Coke. You know, I hardly drink this shit, but here we go.
Is it
Fucking
cold,
Coke.
or does that not
It's
work
cold
for the
as hell. It's
stomach?
cold as hell.
That's good. I don't see the condensation on it. That's why I asked.
The condensation. Oh, that's cold, baby. That's cold, baby. Look at that. The hell you drinking?
I got my cold coffee here. It's like a decaf for the end of the day type of, because I had my real coffee earlier.
Yo, so we getting right into this movie or what?
Yeah, I have a lot I want to talk about. And in the meantime, we're going to be drawing pages from our comic Albatross Junction. Which one are you working on? Like something from issue 2?
I'm still working on the Dybbuk in front of the plane. I gotta finish that shit up.
Is that already in your, like, is that kind of on the colors because it's digital, or are you still?
Yep. I'm on the colors.
Nice. So that's what I'm doing. The
Well,
page
remember
that
I blocked in the page last time.
You blocked in the page.
I mean, I blocked in the plane last time.
Yeah, I saw that. That was the last thing I remember.
Oh, Mundo, what up, man? He said real quick, hi and bye. He's busy with the family tonight. Understandable, brother, man.
What's going on, Mundo? Yeah, no worries at all.
The Mundo Lorian.
What is going on to Mundo? We will see him tomorrow night on Mundo Monday. We do a live show every single Monday and Wednesday. This is kind of like a special episode tonight, talking about Black Widow. Me and Kevin have been working on our drawing, so we figure might as well talk about it online.
Yeah,
we both saw the movie. I think Kevin saw it twice or maybe more.
I saw it probably like close. I mean, it played a total of 3 times. I probably saw it in full once.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it was just on while I was doing other shit.
So we both saw it in different ways. Like I guess you bought it on Disney Plus, and you had told me that you could. It's not like you can watch it just
over
once.
And over again.
That's pretty cool to know.
Over and over and over.
I went to the theater last night, so I watched it in the theater. Maybe like the whole middle was kind of taken up, so that was maybe like a fourth full. The theater, that was the most I've seen. I've only been to it back a couple times since the whole pandemic thing, and that was the fullest it was. I guess it was Saturday night, and there was like a quarter of the theater was full, and then IMAX theater, and the first opening scene, I got pretty excited because it got right into the action. Basically,
no, they went right in,
and they also showed it was like this flashback. So it was Black Widow and her sister as kids, and it was like 1980 something. So that kind of means a lot to me and Kev, because that's like when we grew up as well. So and then it kind of got right into the action when David Harbour, who is playing Red Guardian.
David Harbour's the man, bro. Like I'm becoming more and more of a fan of that dude.
He really seemed like he was like in 1980, whatever it was, like, and it seemed like it was very much like the way they do The Conjuring for those husband and wife, how they show them something different, like time frames, and they look different.
That dude is just all in, no matter where you see him. He's always all the way in, bro. Like, I don't know if you saw The Equalizer. You see him in The Equalizer? He was like that kind of like dirty dickhead cop that was kind of like working for the Russian mob and shit.
I don't think so. No, I saw The Equalizer. I don't remember.
Yeah, he's just a fucking man. Yeah, he's just a man. But okay, can I tell you what there's a couple of things that I didn't like about it?
Yeah, definitely.
Like I think I told you before how I just like Black Widow is not. She's not. She doesn't have no super serum or shit like that, right? Because like she's straight up falling off of buildings and landing on her feet, no problem. I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, come on, like what's up with that? That kind of takes me out of it when I see shit like that. I'm like, yo, come on, bro. Like she just fell 18 stories and she landed on her feet. That was crazy. It's a lot of things that she's doing that she's just getting away with just defying the laws of physics. I'm like, I understand it's a movie, but Jesus Christ. And the whole Taskmaster thing, I wasn't that familiar with Taskmaster, but
Mhm.
when I saw the story arc, I was like, that's not the original character. I knew that wasn't the original character, so I did some research and I saw who it was and who they were like designed to be. And I'm just tired of them just switching fucking characters, bro. Like you got two creators of this character and you just switch it when you didn't have to. There was no reason to switch them. There was
I
no
don't know
reason to
if you
have that be
saw.
the story.
Right. I don't know if you saw the actual actor who was in the Taskmaster suit. It was this like athletic dude
Now he
who
was a
who it
shit. Now he was a
who it
shit. He was no
obviously
joke.
was, because the way that they were moving around was obviously
Yeah.
not that skinny girl in there. So
Yeah,
that
not
was
the chick from James Bond. Definitely wasn't her.
right.
It was just fucking. It just didn't make sense to me. Like it didn't make the story better. You know what I mean? It's just getting like just exhausting, man. Like why the fuck do you keep changing these characters for what? That's like 20, 30 years from now. Say this shit is just a huge success, and they say Nika and Kita, and now like two little orphan boys from Somalia. It's like what the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about? Like why change it? Like
just
what's the
change
reason
them
to change it?
completely.
Like for
Like,
what?
I never followed the Black Widow comics really too much. I didn't really know that much about it, but I thought, like, in my own head, that Black Widow is like a spy in an organization similar to, like, James Bond type of
Yeah,
organization, where there's like both men and women in the organization. She just happens to be a woman, and her code name is maybe Black Widow. I mean, this is like this is what I thought. So to see her like in this situation where there's like 40 or 50 or 100
Black
Black
Widows.
Widows,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're all
That was
female, it
weird.
doesn't, like, that part didn't make sense to me when I thought about it after the movie, because I came out of the movie, I was like, that was great, I loved it. And then I started thinking about, like, why did that guy only want females? I
It
don't
would
I
have
don't exactly
it
get
would have
that
made
part.
sense if they were like snipers. Because remember when Laurie put us on to the whole history of like Russian snipers, the best for women for something like maybe they had like better controlled breathing, so like they were fucking just top notch snipers. The Russians like used a lot of women to be just killers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have made sense to me because that had some truth to it. But I don't know. I mean, and then growing up, I thought Black Widow was just one of one. I thought she was just a shit on her own. Like
Yeah,
there's
and
one
I thought,
Spider Man,
like,
one Black Widow.
yeah, like, anytime I learned that, like, she was like in one of the Iron Man movies or something, when you kind of learn a little bit that she's like this spy and turned agent for America, and you just imagine that, okay, like a spy like James Bond, or someone from like the KGB or something, and they're like just one amongst many spies,
Yeah,
of men and women, just every kind of person you could imagine, because they have to infiltrate. And I mean, you never know, like, the women idea, I get it, for, like, let's say you have to, like, get close to some high powered dude, which kind of seemed like they were flashing a lot of like pictures of like Bill Clinton, different dudes who they were taking photographs of in this whole montage in the beginning of the movie, which I
yeah,
thought was actually really, really nice filmmaking right there, to show a lot of this stuff. There was a couple flashes that I noticed that you don't find out till later. For instance, like, there was, like, they flashed a pig up on the screen,
yeah,
and
yep.
you don't really realize, like, why until
Fucking
later. It's
pig
like,
fate, bro. I can't believe you came up with this again. Another example how like I always gotta bring it up every time a pig comes across because like the earliest. So there's a whole company involved in Albatross Junction. So why we have all the nanos in our blood? It's a company called Pig Fate Mechanical, and Anthony said, "Yo." They were doing. He came up with the whole name Pig Fate Mechanical. They fucked with pigs, this and that. And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking? Like that shit sounds retarded." But then I was like, "Whatever, let's just go with it," because I wasn't gonna like fight that. I was like, yeah, let's do it." And then ever since that conversation, I've been seeing these real life companies come into play in 1,000 movies, bro. They're fucking with pigs and the DNA, and they're trying to splice a pig with a human. I'm like, what the? I was like, what? It's like Animal Farm in real life, bro. It's nuts.
yeah, it all, like, started to come true.
I'm like, what? This dude fucking must have had a premonition. It was like, yo, pig fate. There's gonna be a pig fate mechanical in 2032 or some shit, guaranteed.
Definitely.
Pig fate mechanic, bro. I don't know how you did it. I don't know what vision you had or what you read, what article you fucking came across. That was crazy. But
I
yeah,
was
you
seeing
were
like
onto
how
some shit.
important pigs
You were onto
were
some
to like
shit. That's how you started
scientists
the
and stuff.
conversation. You're like, yo, do you realize how important a pig is? I was like, no, bro. I don't even fuck with pork like that. What are you talking about? But yeah, you were on it. You were on it with that shit. But yeah, man. So
They
yeah,
had
they flashed all the hype like political people, and they did flash the
yes.
pig, and you saw that they came into play later on in the movie and all that. I
Yeah,
do
and
remember
you know
that.
what? I think to answer your question the other day, you had asked me, I think on the phone, right before I saw it, you were saying, like, listen, do you know anything about Black Widow? Do you know if she's got some kind of super
Serum,
soldier
yeah.
serum or something? Because she seems to be
She's like Captain
surviving these
America, bro.
falls and stuff and just impenetrable as far as like being hurt and impervious, whatever. And one of the things I saw in those flashes that went by was like pig, different things. And one of the things I saw was like they were injecting them with something and they were
Must have
like
been,
doing
right?
something to their neck or imprinting them with some kind of syringe. And so I was thinking, like, although it's not like super soldier serum, I think they were doing shit to those girls, like to maybe it was like mega vitamins type of stuff, but it was just like
Something, bro.
they were doing something, right? Like so they
It's
were
just
like
not a
giving
regular
them
human.
like, and you know what I think it was actually? It's honest to God, like if you had to investigate it, like what was that? And you asked the filmmakers and you went behind the scenes and you asked, I bet you it would basically be testosterone because the girl explains, the sister explains, she's like, listen, they took out my fallopian tubes, they made it so
Yeah.
I can't
That's not
procreate.
testosterone, bro. Bro, if I jump off the second step, I'm tearing my ACL, and I'm full of testosterone still. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. But they must
They
have
gave us some other shit.
hormones, like what is
Some
it, like
it's I don't know what the fuck.
TRT
They
or
did
like
some
whatever.
shit.
They
It
gave
was
them
crazy. It
some.
was crazy. What I don't know, but that was kind of like turning me off. But it's kind of always turned me off into these movies. You know what I mean? But I mean, wait. Overall, my score went up for the movie. Like I do like the movie. I liked it
Oh,
a
so
lot.
you watched it again last night with your wife and you found
No,
out you liked it a little
she
more?
started it on Saturday, and I was it was just on again. But what happened was I was just on again. Then it was just like
Mhm.
on in the background while I was trying to paint and shit last night. So it was like it was just one of them things again when it was just on. I was trying to do some work. Then last night I wanted to paint and it was on again. So it was like it was on all weekend. Pretty dope. And I caught a few things I didn't catch the first time I had it on. Pretty fire, pretty fire. What was I gonna say? I was about to say fucking something. Fucking the ending. We'll save the ending for later on. But yeah, so like the Taskmaster, right? I wasn't real familiar with him. I thought the character was fine. Like when he came out when she came out fighting and shit, I was like,
Oh
yo,
yeah.
this is the craziest action. This dude was scary. Like, he was scary. He was like super soldier. It was like Winter Soldier. Like when I first saw Winter Soldier, I was like, yo, this is the
Right.
fucking toughest soldier I've ever seen. Then I was like, yo, so a Taskmaster. I'm like, wait, this is the fucking toughest soldier I've ever seen. He was crazy, just crazy. But as far as the
Speaking of the Winter Soldier,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
but I did some research on Taskmaster. Like he came out in the comics back in like 1980, and his name was like Tony Masters or some shit like that. And his natural gift was to like mimic. So like he could see you do something and
Oh,
he could just master it. So that was kind of in the movie too.
that
So
was.
he became like the craziest secret agent or double agent in the comic book world that they started hiring them to like train their troops to be as good as he was. You know what I mean? So he was like a
Okay.
special fucking operative trainer. You know what I mean? But then he started fucking with a super serum himself, to where it got to the point where he could like see something, read something, like hear something, and then have it mastered in his head forever. But then he started having like some type of weird amnesia, like to the point where he even forgot that he was working for Shield. He was working for Shield. He forgot his wife. He forgot a whole bunch of shit. But all he did remember was that he had this gift that he could do that he could use to his advantage, and he just came up with this whole Taskmaster fucking name, right? He was a fucking Taskmaster now because
Well,
I
he
could
was
take
more
on any
solo
task.
than in the movie. Then the way
Yeah,
you
yeah,
explain it.
no one. He had nothing to do with anyone. It was just him. Like he was an agent of Shield and shit like that. and he helped people hired him throughout the Marvel universe to do a whole bunch of shit. Like he was no joke. He was no
He's
fucking
so
joke.
he was kind of like Nika and Burkita in our comic.
Yeah, but if he fought, like say he fought Spider-Man, he could immediately mimic what Spider-Man was doing. You know what I mean? Like if he fought
For real?
Aquaman and he saw Aquaman take a dive into the ocean, he could do that dive right like 10 seconds, 10 seconds later. Like he was that crazy.
Okay.
He was nuts. So they kind of touched on that in the movie and shit like that. But I just don't
Yeah,
understand why
not
they said
enough.
let's make it a
Not
woman.
enough though. Like the way you explain it, that was like glossed over by I forget the guy's
Yeah,
name,
and
the
they made
the
it like
main
a
guy.
program. They made it like a programming thing. Like what?
Right. Like everything was done like on their iPad as far as like
Yeah,
controlling these
it was
people. They
fucking
made it
weird.
seem like that. The only thing
It was
that guy
weird.
said was he goes, we put this chip on her neck.
Yeah, I had
It
to put a
wasn't
chip in my daughter's neck. It's like, what the
I
fuck does that
didn't
mean?
understand how a chip in her neck made her like the Winter Soldier. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird, and then they made her look like someone directed her to have the dumbest fucking expression on her face ever. I was like, what is that? I was like, that's not the person in that fucking get up. Like, come on, man,
You know
that
who
was
that
crazy.
reminded me of? I'm trying to think of like the movie right now. It was like this
Of mice
crazy
and men.
strong like chick who was what movie was that? This skinny weird looking chick who was like tall. Can't remember. But going back to the Winter Soldier, I think that was the best representation for me of Black Widow. Like
Yeah, she was
better
dope.
than as far as her fighting level and stuff like that. I really loved how in the Winter Soldier, like if you remember, you know, the Winter Soldier comes out like a champ. This is like Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier. He comes out like a champ and like Black Widow
And
jumps
he
on his
comes out
back
like a
and stuff.
fucking yeah. He comes out like a true killer.
And I mean, he just throws her off his back. It
Yeah,
was like nothing.
she couldn't hang with him. Like she couldn't defeat him, but she could slow him, which was impressive as fuck. Wow, this chick is like she's no joke. Cause she can't kill him. She's not gonna beat him, but she did fucking make him like change his fucking plans real quick.
Yeah,
He had to deal with it. He couldn't ignore her completely,
definitely.
which was dope. That was real dope, and it was true. Remember, she jumped off the bridge and she was fucking had that like grappling hook thing, and she's fucking shooting at him with the little Glock she had and all this other crazy shit.
Yeah,
She did everything she could.
just to buy everyone a couple seconds. Otherwise, his attention would have been on civilians and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's dope. She was dope.
You know, in
Yo,
this movie, it was a little too OP as far as her injury level was it
yeah, like she should have been fucking halfway dead, bro. Like, what is going on
because
here?
I compared it to like my favorite movie from the 90s. You know, I love 90s movies and this movie really did seem like a 90s movie. I'll give it that. The director pulled off the fact that it looked like a 90s movie. For instance, the car chase looked like Ronin to me. That was very well
Yeah, that
done,
was dope.
I thought. And the beginning part was very much like, you know, the way that they kind of set up this whole spy thing was I thought similar to like my favorite movie, The Long Kiss Goodnight, and also the fact how they brought in the humor as well in this
Humor
movie.
was good. Yo, her sister was dope. And like I don't know if the sister is like exists in the comic books, but she's fire, bro. I liked her a lot.
Definitely. Um, you know, I feel like they brought in like elements of The Long Kiss Goodnight, but because it was a very similar storyline where you had Gina Davis playing this spy who was now like defected and turned to another side, you know, and so those people were after her. It's kind of a similar thing. And but in that movie, Gina Davis gets hurt bad. I mean, she gets shot, she gets
She gets
punched in the
fucked
face,
up.
kind of similar to Black Widow, but Black Widow doesn't really get that hurt, and she more so hurts herself, right? She says, you know, I have to smash my own head because you can't
Fucking
punch hard enough.
yeah, Black Widow fucking she gets hurt at the moment, but then she's over it. Then she's
Right.
fine. She's
She even
fucking fine.
fixes her own nose
Yeah, she's
after
fine
it's
after that.
broken.
It's crazy. It's
So
insanity.
I thought that stuff was the stakes were higher in The Long Kiss Goodnight for, you know, the main character. Also, I guess because you knew at the end of Black Widow she's going to be alive still because she's in the next movie. So those stakes were kind of taken away.
And fucking Another thing I noticed was like the difference between her and her sister. Her sister was a fucking Spartan, bro. Like she was ready to die. She was like, "Oh, this will be a cool death." Like she was fucking no joke. She was ready to fucking die, bro. With everything she was doing.
How come her like sacrificial suicide death didn't become a death? I was like, what?
What do you mean?
Like it looked like she was about to do something to the jet engine of something,
Oh,
and
yeah. And then
Black
Black
Widow
Widow
screams
dove like a fucking champion. Yeah,
no,
yeah, that was crazy
like
too.
she says no, like why would you scream no when the chick wasn't even burnt at all? Like she was totally fine. When she I guess because she was falling through the air and
She was
Black
gonna
Widow
die. She was gonna
had to
die. Yeah,
she was gonna die. Okay, but you would have thought that that explosion would have
like
taken care of it.
yeah, would have done something.
It was
She was
kind of
dope.
funny though how with the sister, it's like I don't know if you caught this one part, but Black Widow has a supplier, and this
Yeah,
guy is like some like British guy who supplies her with stuff. I think he is, and at one point, he gives her some kind of helicopter or something, and she says, "Oh, do you have that other bag that I asked for?" "Oh yeah, here's the other bag."
with the
And
food.
in the bag was like her sexy white outfit with that looked like Storm Shadow Ninja outfit.
Yeah,
And it's like, so she pulls it out halfway so that we can see it, and then she puts it back in, and in the next scene, she's wearing it, right, and the sister is also wearing a similar outfit, but Black Widow's outfit is tailored to Scarlett Johansson. It's like
yeah,
tailored, it's
yeah.
tight, and I assumed that the sister got her outfit from the bag as well because it looked like it was white. It looked similar, but it was like unfitting. It was like
They did
baggy.
that. They did that too with that fucking vest too. Remember the vest was like a little joke. She was like, "This is the first thing I bought for myself. This is the vest. Blah blah blah. It has a lot of pockets. I really like it. This and that." And then she was like, "Oh, I'll give you the." At the end, she's like, "Give you the vest. I know you really liked it."
Mhm.
And then the next scene, Scarlett Johansson has it on. And it's fucking tailor fit for her. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, come on, that's not gonna happen. Like, if I give you my vest, it's not gonna fit you fucking perfectly.
Yeah, because like this being a comic
It's
book
like little
movie,
nitpicky
it's
shit
like
though.
I
Yeah.
can buy the fact that she pulled an outfit out of this bag. She said it was 5 years ago, right? She told the guy, "I haven't gotten this bag back in 5 years." Like she said that, and so she opens the bag. She hasn't seen it in 5 years. It's got a perfectly tailored suit for herself. I can buy that because it's a comic book. But if there's also an outfit in there for your sister, why is that one baggy? When like we just established this is a comic book movie, like you can make it
Yeah,
just
just make it
tailor
good.
fit
Yeah.
for her, and we'll buy it because you just pulled out a suit for her and a suit for you and a black
I
one
guess
for
it's
the mom.
just perception, right? They just have to make her look stronger and better, like subliminally. I guess that's how I took it. Like they got to make her the big sister, the stronger one, the better one. So
Yeah,
if
they made
anything's
the
off with you
little sister
visually, you
look a
look a
little
little weaker.
frumpier.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely intentional, man. Definitely. And, and she was dope, man. It took me a minute to realize she was from Midsummer.
Yeah, well, you
She
had to
was
tell
dope.
me that, like, you kind of told me that before I went in, so I was already ready, so I didn't have to think
Yeah,
about like,
yeah.
oh, who is this or
She was
anything.
good. She was funny as fuck too. With her dry humor. She was like, "What is this pose? This pose? This you're a poser." She was like, "It's a fighting pose. You're a poser."
Now,
With the
did
head
the
flip.
accent thing make sense to you the second time, or
Yeah, what was up with the accent thing? Like, why did come
well,
through?
because
Like,
you
why did it
were,
go in and out?
yeah, like you kind of had a question about it, like was it a mistake that sometimes they had an accent, sometimes they didn't? But since I mean, I only watched it the once, I kind of was trying to pay attention to it. I thought that maybe the
'Cause they went
sister,
between worlds and shit.
yeah, like I was thinking they were. I mean, it didn't make sense in the fact that the sister, as a little girl, didn't have any accent at all, or she sounded American or something. But the fact that she went away and then was then raised by Russians, I guess, in it put the accent on her, and she kind of had it the whole way, as far as I could tell. But
Yeah,
did Natasha exhibit the accent only sometimes or other times, or
I've never really heard it with an accent. Honestly, I don't know. That was
at one
fucking
point in the
crazy.
movie, the kid versions of them were speaking Russian,
Yeah,
I think. So at that point, or like, they were like, I don't know what the language is.
fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy, man.
And talk about the Red Guardian. I kind of expected a little more from the Red Guardian.
No, I
It
thought he
was
was hilarious. I
okay,
thought he was
but
the best. Yo, Red
I don't
Guardian
mean
was the
more
best, man.
humor. I don't mean more
No, you
humor. I
mean
meant
like
more
more
as
like
far as
action and shit like that.
Yeah, like being more badass as far as being able
He
to
was pretty fucking
handle
badass
shit.
though. He was hilarious to me. I thought he was great. I thought he was a great character.
I thought
I
it was
enjoyed the shit out of
I
him.
thought it was great. I just I felt like I had to make up my own bits to him where I wanted to be I guess shown or told more about it. For instance, I thought that his Captain America type serum must not have been as good as Captain America's or something. I guess it was like a second rate version of it because it didn't seem like he had all of the physicality. But I guess it
I
only
mean,
worked
he
great for
didn't
Captain
fucking train
America.
either though, bro. Captain America trained.
Hmm.
This motherfucker didn't train. All he did was arm wrestle and get tattoos for years and got fat.
But
You know what I'm
don't you
saying?
think they also did him a little dirty as far as like not putting him in correct positions? Because he was even complaining, like, I have all these abilities, but yet they stuck me in basically this,
Yeah, they shitted
undercover.
on him. They shitted on him. But I mean, he flew on the wing of a plane, bro. No problem. Like he was on the wing of a plane in the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie, bro. Like no
Well, no,
no issue.
that opening scene, that's what I think gave me some high hopes to see a little more later. And we did get some in the prison scene, the breakout, and
Got a
also the
lot.
fight between Taskmaster and him, but they kind of cut away from that a lot, right? The Taskmaster versus him
Yeah.
fight was kind of like him getting thrown across the room, him getting beat up, and not so much him pulling out any like last tricks or just experience type tricks. Because see, I guess from what you explained about the Mimicker character, that maybe he couldn't do anything about that guy or about that Taskmaster
Yeah, you're gonna get
because
fucked up.
of the mimicking. But I would have just thought that over those experience over those many years of being the Red Guardian, that he would have some kind of edge over that chick who was 20 years old or 25 years old in the Taskmaster suit. A couple
Mhm.
tricks could have come out. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. I didn't think he was lacking too much. He was fucking. I thought he was the best, man. Like he could have his own film, and I'm definitely going to see it.
Definitely,
Definitely
like it
going to
was
see
it
it.
was it was the one of the brightest parts of the movie
It
for
was
sure.
great.
Anytime he was there.
The powerhouse they didn't use to the ability I thought they should have, in my opinion, was fucking Ray Winstone, bro.
Right.
He's just a fucking acting powerhouse, bro. But they didn't fucking like they didn't let him scream and go crazy, or they didn't give him any of those roles to like let him shine. He was real subtle in this flick. But I mean, if you're familiar with his work, just kind of seeing him be who he was kind of powerful in its own right, just because you just know who the fuck he is. Like, that's Frenchie, bro. That's fucking Frenchie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
anytime he was there, I was happy.
I was waiting for him to do something crazy or say something crazy or just have some like wicked dialogue, but he really didn't. But he killed it though. He killed it. He killed it, Rolla, as always. That was dope. The whole Red Room thing was kind of wild. The serum thing was crazy. And it's just like another thing going like with the super soldier shit. Like I don't know if the Black Widows get it or not, but remember when in the beginning the Black Widows were chasing that one girl who was like woke and shit.
Yeah,
She had the serum. So the sister catches up to her. She stabs her up. She fucks her up. The lady hits her with the red dust. Now she's awake. And she's like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm sorry, blah blah blah. And the girl's like, okay, whatever, just take the serum, wake them all up. And then she fucking just stabs the shit out of her own thigh, rakes the shit down like 3 inches, and then takes out like the located device without even a fucking wince. I'm like, bro, like let's not act like that shit won't hurt you. Like you're gonna run away with a severe limp after that shit. Like, what are you talking about?
right.
That was bro. You saw she went like an inch and a half deep and then scraped it down, and then took the shit out her fucking leg and threw it out and just looked around like, oh, I gotta get out of here.
Yes.
Like, nah, man, nah, it's not gonna happen. You like, I'm come on. If you've ever stepped on a push pin and that shit, you felt it driving to the heel of your foot, you know how much that shit hurts. You know what I mean? And that's a
Absolutely.
little push pin. That's a little push pin. This was a 2 inch blade that she just yanked herself with. Just that was insane. Just little shit like that. I'm like, come on, man. Why are we acting like this is easy? Just to get to the next scene. It was nuts. It was nuts. I did like how dry she was though. That was dope. And all her little subtle expressions worked a lot, man. They worked great. Like when her and Black Widow were fighting in that apartment in Budapest.
Hmm.
and they would both grab the curtain and choke each other. And Black Widow was definitely like out choking the fuck out of her neck.
Yeah.
And she just, and like the way she looked at her, not in a panic, but like in a, like she's kind of just accepted it, like fuck man, like you bitch, I fucking hate you. And then Black Widow saw her and she was like, all right, truce. And she just, then they took the whole truce. Then again in the store before she made fun of her with the whole superhero landing thing, when she was like, yeah, but we were sisters. She was like, no, you're not really my sister. The way she kind of paused and looked past her shoulder, like that shit really stung her and shit.
Yes.
She was like, we're not really sisters. She was just, but like her face didn't change. Just the pause she took was good. That was real good. That was powerful as fuck. So her performance was dope. And then the whole, like, what do you think is gonna happen now? Like, what do you think like it means to the whole Marvel universe now? The whole ending, the cutscene.
I fully expected. This is what I expected out of this movie. That at the end of the movie, the sister would be dead. Black Widow would go on with this pain in her heart and all this
Yeah,
shit.
I didn't think they were gonna bring. I didn't think they were gonna bring it up to bring it
Right.
up to the timeline.
And then when I finally saw the end where the sister is by her grave and stuff and like kind of dusting off her grave. And then what like the weird part was like, okay, first of all, like this is just a little heavy, like honestly, like a little heavy on the women part because like we just got off the finale, which like Ray Winstone was just explaining weirdly why he had only women, which I still don't understand, but it's like, okay, so he had only women. So he just doesn't expect like to infiltrate any like gay dudes fucking empire. Okay. Like he just only needs women. Great. Okay. So after coming off all that, it's like we see Julia Louis Dreyfus like
That was
standing.
weird. Yeah, that was weird.
And I was like, okay,
Sneezing and
come
shit.
on.
She was
Like
standing there sneezing.
you
Like, what
really
the
have
fuck is
like
going on?
so everybody's a woman now, like everybody, like every single person. Okay, fine. And then because I love Julia Louis Dreyfus, she's like one of my favorite people ever, so I could just like totally accept it. But I was just like, this is just like there's it just have I don't know, fine. So, and I realized that they're just kind of I guess because the Black Widow character is dead. Is this how you took it? That they want this sister to kind of take up some kind of role in the next
No, I think
movie or
I took it
something?
as so you talking about like as far as the Hollywood
Like
aspect of it goes.
well like as far as like because they show a picture of Hawkeye, they're like, oh, you should go after Hawkeye.
Because they blamed them. They said, yo, this is who killed your sister. She told
Right.
her that. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna try to get Hawkeye now. So I
Right.
just think there's some story about they want Hawkeye done for some reason, and they're just gonna use this chick, and either they're gonna tell her the truth, and then she's gonna become like a Black Widow herself.
Oh, I get you. I kind of took it as they will just I mean, your thing is probably better. We're like, okay, to get rid of Jeremy Renner, he's kind of old looking and like wrinkly anyway, so they want to probably get rid of that Hawkeye. So they send this chick in. You're kind of saying, and in maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes of another movie, she kills Jeremy Renner, and
No,
then
I don't think she's gonna kill him. I wouldn't
oh
say that
okay,
unless he
oh so
wants out.
she
He kind of
attempts
wants out.
to.
I think.
So they kind of turn her to become an Avenger or something. Like, oh, find out. Oh, you're Black
Maybe,
Widow's sister. Come
yeah,
join us.
maybe. Like she's a
That's
Black Widow too.
possible.
Like what are we gonna call her? Oh, we could call her Black Widow. It's fucking crazy. She's a Romanoff.
Yeah, that took a little steam out of the Black Widow name for me to find out there's like 100 other ones. But
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. That was fucking weird. And I don't remember what happened to Taskmaster. Like what the fuck happened? Where'd she end up?
like, she, where's she gonna go? I don't get it. Like, what was she gonna do?
Hey, what the fuck is gonna happen?
She's like, oh, sorry, I made you uglier. Um,
Yeah, it was fucking weird. It was weird. Like the movie was, it was entertaining. I just don't know if it was a solid movie. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It was chill. It was cool.
I come out of all these Marvel movies very happy. Like I like
It's
Doctor
entertaining.
Strange. I
I'm
come out
getting
very
real
happy.
fucking jaded. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm real jaded about all this superhero shit. I'm done. I'd rather watch like No Country for Old Men than keep watching shit blow up and just stupid shit.
Right. It's
Like all
it's
these
funny when you
costumes. It's
come
like, oh,
home.
enough with these fucking costumes.
Yeah, like I had come home from the movie and I put on like HBO and I saw all the stuff that was available. and all the stuff that's available on Netflix, it's like 70% superhero stuff.
It's all superhero shit, man. It's like
And I know
enough
what you
already.
mean. It's like it's like you got to have a break, because even if you grew up with it like we did and you love it to death,
Yeah, yeah.
it's becoming. And I never would have thought this would have happened. Did you ever would have thought that would have happened? That they
No,
made
it's
too
too
much
much.
of it? Never
Yeah,
thought
it's
that.
fucking stupid. It's
I
fucking
think
stupid,
I
man.
think it's kind of partly because they really aren't doing it right, but they're doing it well enough. But they're like for instance, you probably saw the oh no, actually maybe you didn't because you didn't go to the movie. But I don't know if they show it at home. But they showed the Snake Eyes trailer before.
Horrible. I spoke about that before. That shit is tragic, bro. They fucked up the only two facts we've always known about Snake Eyes. They omitted from the fucking movie. Like, what is that about? Who? So it's not Snake Eyes anymore. Call it something else.
I know.
Call it Asian Man X or some shit. Like it's like, well, what are you doing? This shit is different. It's not Snake Eyes anymore, bro. Once you change it, it's not him. It's not the story. It's not the fucking story. That's like saying, okay, we're gonna pick up Albatross Junction, but it's not Albatross Junction anymore. They go to a place called, Diego 7. Then it's not Albatross Junction anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. Like, that's just weird that they just do that shit and no one cares. I don't understand. They just change shit up whenever they feel it's right, and it's not even for the better. Like there was no reason to make Taskmaster this girl's fucking this dude's daughter. Like that was dumb. That was dumb because it didn't hit hard. Like it hit hard when you first saw the scene where the little girl was like gonna get blown up, and you saw Black Widow like, yo, damn, like she's a she's just a fucking what you say? She's just a fucking, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I didn't hear the first part of your sentence because it was kind of locked up.
Oh,
So
saying it hit hard when, like, you first saw Black Widow was willing to let this little girl kind of like go by
I
the die by the
know.
wayside, and it kind
Yeah.
of hit hard. Like she was just like she's just fucking, she's just a casualty of like war, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that
What
was
was
it,
the
and
thing
that,
that
like,
kind of changed her mind about that girl? Like, why did
it
she want to
just,
save
I
her
don't fuck.
later?
I guess she felt guilty. I guess it was something like, it was like something she always felt guilty about.
But like,
But it didn't matter. Like they should have just had fucking Johnny fucking Master, whatever his name was, and just have him. Just keep it the original fucking way. Like keep it the original fucking way.
But like,
And
what like realistic aspect was there to the fact that a bomb went off and Ray Winstone is fine and the daughter's just
it's only
burned her head?
scratched. Yeah,
I
that
don't
shit was
get it.
weird, man. It was weird. It was really weird. They're making some really weird. You know what they're doing? They're doing like, they're treating us the way they treated Misery, bro. Remember, she was like, I went to the movies and they left us on a cliffhanger. And
Yeah.
they resumed the movie 2 weeks later. It was like the cocky duty car was going over the cocky duty cliff. You know what I'm saying? Like they just change whatever the fuck they want to change, and we just accept this shit, man. It's weird. It's just weird. It's weird, man. It's weird. And I mean, like, if this is just what it is, like, Superman is gonna be way different when we're like 60. It's gonna be a whole different story. It's not gonna be Superman anymore.
Right, but it's got the Superman name,
But it's gonna have a Superman logo.
which is the disgusting thing that they do
It's
is
fucking
they
weird. It's
change
weird,
it
man.
so much, but yet they retain the name so that people are confused as fuck.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, this ain't Superman, bro. This is something else. It's cool. I can still like it, but just why is it Superman? Like they're rebooting the Wonder Years now, whole different families. Like, but why? But I don't understand. Like, just call it. It's a new show. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Why does it have to be the Wonder Years again?
Yeah, call it like the Bohanlons,
Some shit. Yeah,
like
like
the
what the
Southern
fuck are y'all
family.
doing? It's just weird, man. It's just weird. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, all in all, I enjoyed the flick. The flick was dope. It was cool. Cool flick. Cool flick. Like I said, entertaining as fuck.
yeah, it was enough like the '90s to me, uh, to have enough action in it where every few minutes I was basically thrown into some kind of action scene or something exploded, and that's very easy to satisfy me. It's not that hard. I'm basically like 11 or 12 years old inside, so. If you show me a bunch of explosions and this chick is kicking people and she jumps up and down and all this stuff, is like, okay, that's
Okay, I
fine.
got you. Yeah, I got you.
Especially
Yeah.
if there's people in it with like they're like, oh, this guy has a serum and he's just like Captain America and then he's funny and all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, you pretty much got me because I'm like a child inside, but I also saw some problems with the logic. I like to I like to examine movies later and then find very few, like, you know, logic problems, because then I could really buy into the whole fiction part
Yeah,
more. I'm like, oh, all these things line up to make it seem like it's realistic, even amidst these like people with superpowers or strength or whatever. That's really why I like the opening scene so much, is the fact that like the Red Guardian, David Harbour's character, who was basically just known as the father at that point, right? So he's just like the
yep,
father. And only one part, it was about a 10, 11, 12 minute scene, maybe more, 13-minute scene, and only in 1 second did they display his strength. And just it was enough, it's all the audience needed to know that this guy,
yeah, you can make it
he like
happen.
moved something away from the plane that his family was on before it was able to launch, or it was able to lift off. It was a very heavy farm device that like a trailer that he kind of flipped on its head, and you
Yeah,
realize, oh, moving
oh, this like this
the
fucker is
objects
strong.
is nothing to this guy.
Like, he's a strong fuck.
Yeah, and then he does a couple more things, I guess, like jumps on the plane and stuff, but he doesn't do
They
too
didn't let
much
him
in that
loose. They didn't
scene.
let him loose.
Right. And then so I was really expecting later to see something, not so much during the prison scene, because they had shown that he was out of shape and stuff like that. But I thought he was going to go like in rage, like a kind of a Wolverine rage later, when they like say threaten the daughters or something. But it was
Yeah,
also funny to see him, kind of getting beaten up and thrown around. But I just thought that character could have been a little bit more. Uh, for instance, it was surprising to me at the end of the movie to have everybody alive still. It was very surprising. I thought, like, the father would have to stand up, the Red Guardian would have to stand up at some point, and he's like, I'm gonna save you girls, because there was some kind of unbeatable odds, like maybe that Taskmaster was coming and Black Widow has a
yeah,
broken leg or something, obviously can't fight or whatever. And then he stands up, the music rises, da da, and he just can't win. He can't win, but he's gonna go after this. And then I
you're
don't
gonna
know,
do a
like I
Thorn
was,
Oakenshield and shit.
yeah, just very surprised to see everybody alive at the end. I mean, you bring up Thor and Oakenshield. Even in that Tolkien story where almost nobody dies, people die at the end of that Hobbit. So that was interesting to see, like these kind of who I consider disposable characters at this point. Like you have David Harbour, you have the mom, and you have the sister. I thought the sister was going to die for sure, and like none of them died.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's fine.
Something like that. It's wild. It's wild. It's
Whereas the
fucking
bad guys,
wild.
remember, they were sure, like it was kind of uh, very incredible odds throughout the whole movie. As far as the bad guys come in, they have 4 helicopters. All the good guys, they have just a farmhouse that they're eating dinner. So it's like, oh, someone's gonna get shot to shit in here. It's like, no, everybody's fine.
Didn't happen. Pretty wild. Pretty fucking wild. Shit was crazy. One of the um one of the coolest fucking like exchanges as far as conversation went was when what's her name? Rachel's what's her name from the Mummy? She played like the mom. She's like the
Rachel
original Black
Weisz.
Widow, really, and shit. She's like the OG Black Widow.
Yeah.
She was talking to her about like like how fucked up it was growing up. Like this, it was real for her. It was kind of real for me. Blah 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 blah. And she hit her with. She was like, "Listen, man. Like before you were born, I already went through like 4 cycles in the red room. Like I'm so far into this shit. Like it was just work. Like it was just fucking work.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sorry. What do you want me to do? Like you think you're fucked up? I'm fucked up. God damn it. Like she was no joke. That was pretty
Why did the
crazy.
mom stop the daughter from removing the photo album at first? Was it to just show whoever investigated that they didn't leave for good? But then she actually did, in fact, take the photo album. It was revealed at the end. I was just wondering, like, what did you think the reason for her not letting her daughter, who is Black Widow, take the photo album of the family?
I think just because it's like the only thing that really meant something to them. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were like on the job, it was like the closest thing to family that they had. You know what I mean? Especially since the little girl when she was little, like it was like legit real to her. None of that shit, none of that other stuff was going on.
Right. Well, do you remember at the beginning of the movie when they were escaping the home, there's a scene where like Black Widow goes to grab that photo album. The mom stops her, says like, "Leave it."
Oh yeah, that's
What
right,
was the
that's right.
point for
Yeah,
like
that's right.
leaving it? Like, was it to like? Because I'm thinking like in a Batman
That's right.
detective
But she
style
had it
way.
at the end though. She had it at the end though. No.
That's what I'm saying. Because like at first I was thinking, okay, the logic here is like, don't take anything because if you take something, it looks like we've left in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you just get in the car and we leave, it looks like we went to the store or whatever.
That's
You
a
know?
good question. Good question. Because they did make it a point to show that she said, "No, leave it. Like we don't have time for that shit. Like no, you don't
Right.
believe in that." But then she had it at the end. So like, was it just her being like an operative? Like, yo, leave the pictures because like someone's gonna come and then they know who to look for type deal.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the '80s. You know what I mean? It's not like you can just look people up online. So maybe it's like for picture reference for some reason. I don't know. I gotta rewatch that part. It's a good question. Yeah, and
But
as far as Easter eggs go, I know people are saying like there's 1,000 Easter eggs in there, but I didn't really care. I'm not that deep where I
right.
catch
I was
Easter eggs.
never, all the movies that they've been making since Iron Man have been made of and out, except for, Sony has made Spider-Man. I'm not talking about those. And, X-Men movies made by Fox. I'm not talking about those. I'm just talking about all the Marvel movies. They're all of them
Full of
are
Easter eggs.
characters I didn't follow. And I collected comics since 1986. Like I didn't follow Thor. I didn't follow Iron Man. I think you did though. You did follow Iron
Well,
Man,
I
right?
only
I
used
didn't
to watch
follow
the
Doctor
old
Strange.
cartoon. Yeah, I didn't follow Doctor Strange or Thor. I used to buy Thor because there was a couple of issues where they had like the bearded Thor. And I thought he looked cool as fuck, so I would buy those issues just to redraw him. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I didn't know his story. I didn't know his story at all. And sometimes Loki would be on the cover, and I thought Loki looked dope with the big ass gold horns and shit. So I used to draw them too all the time, but I didn't read the story. Pretty wild. Same with Iron Man. I never once bought an Iron Man comic book when I was a kid.
Right. I kind of got the story from the movie in that regard, and I hope it was close enough because like that's the story that I
Yeah.
think of for Iron Man.
I mean, it was all for me growing up, and I've said it 1,000 times. It was all always X Men, Spider Man, and then my guilty pleasure was fucking Lobo.
Right.
That
I
was
was
it,
into
man. That was it.
Superman. I bought the Superman books even though I found them boring. I bought Batman. I loved them. I bought
Batman, yeah,
X
I just
Men.
like Batman.
Loved them. Yeah, I bought
Well, the
like
Killing Joke is
two
what
different
turned me
X Men
out.
titles.
The Killing Joke turned me out to it all. And back like what was it, like '89 or some shit like that when the Killing Joke dropped.
Was the Killing Joke the one where they made Robin bloody dead? Like he was like bloody
No, no,
in
no.
his
The Killing
arms and
Joke is when the Joker's on the cover with the camera and he
okay.
shoots Barbara. Boom, shoots Barbara in front of Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, the one that they recently turned into a cartoon, which
Yeah,
I thought was like kind of subpar, the
it
cartoon.
was all
But
right, but when that book dropped, that's like the first book that I bought with my own money. And when I went home, I read it. I was like, "Yo, this was kind of fucking amazing." And then I started going back to that Spot Flappers video and leaving with like stacks of books under my shirt and shit. That shit was the best. It was the best. And then it started getting crazy with the Spider-Man reboot, with the whole McFarlane reboot type deal, and that shit started looking sick to me. Then the X-Men started getting crazy. I started getting into the Reavers and that whole thing, that whole story arc was dope. That was fire to me. And Lobo, I probably dove into Lobo more than any comic book ever, to be honest. If I'm being fucking completely honest, Lobo did it. I got into Deadpool for a little time, but that was about it. Like him always breaking the fourth wall in the comics kind of was always like was a turn off for me. I was like, yeah, I don't like when they talk to me like that. I don't like that shit.
yeah,
I like it now since the movies came out, but like seeing him first drop when he was doing that all the time, it was like it was kind of like, ugh, I don't really dig this too much. Silver Surfers I used to get into. I was a big fan of like fucking Galactica and shit like that.
as soon as Image came out, I was into the
Yeah,
Rob Liefeld books and the Jim Lee books, and even some of the other ones like
yeah. Dark
Stormwatch and
Horse. I got into a lot of Dark Horse shit. That was pretty crazy. Then when the Crow dropped, that fucked my whole head up. I was like, yo, this is crazy and this is different as fuck. I still got that up in here somewhere. The
yeah, we
Crow's
still
nuts.
review that one from time to time.
That shit it holds up. It holds up. But yeah, man, I didn't like. I wasn't into the Avengers, or I don't think I ever once fucking like had a Black Widow comic if they even had one. I never once had one.
See, my best friend Dominic loved the X-Men so much that I couldn't help but love the X-Men because he
Yeah,
showed
X
me
Men
how
was the
cool
shit,
those
bro.
those books were.
X Men was the
So
shit, though. They were the
I
shit.
think I used to tell you I tried to find my own version of an X-Men book, so I went for like the New Warriors is what I tried to
Yeah,
be like. Oh, this could be like an X-Men book, and before that, I think I tried Alpha Flight. I was like, maybe Alpha Flight could be
Alpha
like
Flight was
my
cool. Alpha Flight was
X-Men,
cool.
and I kind of liked it. There was also Excalibur, which is like another Canadian team. I think it contained some Alpha Flight members. It's like
Yeah,
an Excalibur.
but
I,
know what I got big on after a while too. I got big on the old the What Ifs and like
I love
Secret Wars.
those.
Secret Wars was dope. Like especially that. Remember that cover with the Hulk holding up the mountain?
Yes.
That cover's fucking classic, bro. That cover's the sickest cover ever back in the
I'm
day.
gonna uncover my Secret Wars books at some point because I have a lot buried
Still have them?
in my like
Yeah,
long
I don't
boxes
have
and
them.
stuff, and I have to go through them.
Those
You
were
know that one
sick.
day me and you went through only
Yeah,
a
those were
fraction
sick.
of our comics.
Those were fucking sick. And then the whole Infinity Gauntlet was like the next big thing. Like that, maybe that's probably like the movie I was closest to before it dropped.
I had read all the Infinity Gauntlet storyline stuff as well, so I was pretty familiar.
Yeah, and even still, like Thanos, as cool as he is in the fucking comics, like he's not as evil as he was in the fucking books. Like he was fucking treacherous fuck in the book. The motherfucker was Satan. He just didn't give a
That was one that I had
about
read
anybody.
multiple times before the movie came out. Same thing with like Watchmen. I had read Watchmen multiple times before Watchmen came out.
So I've always seen Watchmen. I've always seen it on the shelves, the happy face button and all that. But I didn't read it until right before it dropped. I was like, oh, let me read. I was like, let me read this book finally before the movie came out. But it was always on my radar. I just never fucking pulled the trigger. That shit is dope, though. That shit is real dope. Fucking Watchmen. Wow. I feel like that one is as much as it has like the movie, the show, and all that shit. I still feel like it's not fucking like celebrated as much as it should be. That shit is crazy. Watchmen is crazy.
Watchmen's crazy.
It's crazy. That shit is crazy, crazy. Yeah, you know what I gotta get? Like just going back to some real world shit of what I gotta get better at as far as making the comic goes. I have to get better at recognizing what's just gonna become a silhouette. Cause I'll spend time in fucking like doing all these details that's just gonna get blacked out anyway. And it's like the fourth time I'm coming across that situation. And it's like it pisses you off because like when you draw something, you don't want to fucking just black it out.
Were you watching the Richard Friend stream today?
Nah, what was it? Super friend, like what was it? Super something Sunday? Super Sunday? Super fun Sunday?
Yeah, I clicked on it. I thought Kelsey was going to be on. I think he had that in the title, but Kelsey never came on. But he was talking a lot about inking. He actually brought up like 50, 60, 80 slides of inked
Yeah, he
pages and
always does,
stuff.
bro.
Was
He's
kind of talking about
crazy.
them.
He's crazy, bro.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a shit. That dude is nuts. He knows about Albatross Junction, bro. Isn't
Yeah,
that
he
crazy when
made
you
a
think about
comment that
that
was
shit?
nice.
He knows about this fucking book. That's what's up. That's the best.
Yeah, he was talking about what you just said a little bit about putting the blacks in. He said he kind of learned to put the blacks in digitally.
Mhm.
Not I'm not talking about inks, but like big swaths of black. He said that saves him a bunch of time.
Yeah, you got to do it.
But he was explaining also how everybody has come around to it was like the same realization that me and you had at the beginning of making this book, which was that it was better to do so on paper for the pencils and the inks is what we kind of concluded. uh, he's saying that's what everybody's kind of concluding right now. There's like more. and he was having trouble explaining why. He was like some of it I don't know how to explain, but he said the results are just better on when you work with paper for most people. And he was saying, there's certain people like uh, I forget his first name, but there's an artist online who I like his Luke Skywalker image a lot. It's called Cyberpunk Luke, and his name is Jimenez. I think it's Jorge Jimenez, or
Oh yeah. He's a fucking animal,
he's
that
so
dude, man.
great. So he was
Crazy.
excluding people like him. Richard was. He was saying, people like him are an exception. He's not talking about them, but he said for the most part, because he says there are so excellent digital artists out there, like Jorge Jimenez. But
Oh,
for the
he's
most
fucking
part, he
crazy.
says people get a better result when they actually go to paper, and that's kind of what me and you felt like too. It
Yeah, hell
edges it
yeah.
out a little bit. There's just something lost when it starts digital or when it's inked digitally. He was saying it's a lot nicer when usually when it's inked
I mean,
for real.
I just fucking attribute that to fucking like we've worked on paper our whole lives. You know what I mean? It's just some I don't know, just something about it, bro. Like we just it's just our tools.
Well, he was kind of explaining it like that's what I thought too, but the way he was explaining it, and you would have thought that from what I said so far that that's what he was referring to, but I think what he was really referring to, because he kind of mentioned the term uh, like future generations,
Hmm.
he was saying it's always going to be preferable for paper. Um, like he's saying, no matter how far like digital goes, he says there's some nice brushes. He said like there's a calligraphy brush that he likes that kind of mimics a real pen and stuff like that. But for the most part, he's saying even people in the future are going to recognize the benefit of paper. So that was the part that surprised me a little bit, because I was thinking the same thing as you. It's like,
Yeah,
we're used to it, or we started that way and stuff. But he's saying no, even the current generation who they had these tools 20 years ago, and these people that are 18, 19, 20 right now kind of breaking into comics and doing that, they are also have this awakening of going back to paper. So that was interesting to hear. I didn't really know that that was true
yeah. I mean,
for
the thing
everybody. I knew it was
that you
true for
can't mimic
us.
with thing you can't mimic with paper either. Just ink in the paper. The way the ink sits in the paper. You know what I'm saying? The way the light fucking hits it. So you can't mimic that shit, bro. Like I can fucking get effects on paper that I can't get digitally.
Yeah.
I mean, and even print wise, like me and you've been doing print so much that if you want to make something look like it's varnished, you could just tweak the blacks a little bit. Use a super black and just maybe just 100% black in one area, and it'll print different. And it'll cast a different type of feel to it. It's just I don't know, just more things to manipulate rather than just on the surface of a digital fucking page. It's just all fake. It's just all artificial.
I think I even know how to manipulate now through like using the printing process and learning from my mistakes, meaning like even very recently I've had something printed where it was black on top and I had an artifact underneath the black that I didn't realize in my file. It was like text. And when they printed the document, the text could be read through the black. Although it was a mistake, so I had deleted the text artifacts underneath the black, and it printed fine. But I was thinking just now, as you said, what you said, is that we could use that for like a cover of Albatross, because we put like a red Nika, let's say,
Hmm.
behind, or even black Nika, like bloody or whatever, just an image, almost like picture like Punisher War Journal, Jim Lee or something, black and white. Like you got like a picture of Nika there, his figure, his silhouette, and then over top of it, let's just print a black square. So when they see it at the print on the file, it's just going to look like a black square, but when you print it, you'll see Nika under there.
Yeah. All right.
Because it's like we could use the mistake that I found out as a like turn that negative into a positive,
Yeah.
right? And it would look like what you're saying. I think it would look like a varnish, because what that does, what the artifact looks like underneath black, is it looks like it's shinier than the rest of the black.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm saying. As far as like getting the different blacks to print, or sometimes you just put red underneath your black. That's like the old school trick. You just put like whatever's black, you just select and duplicate and have that print red underneath it. But that was
Oh wow,
mostly
I
when
could see
presses.
that.
That's mostly when presses were in use. That would make your black so lush, and nice. It was nice. It's the
Like
best.
I could imagine like almost velvety.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the same thing for painting. Like you would always, a lot of people always put red on. They would start the underpaint to be red, and then they'll paint on top of that with oil paints, just to make their colors more lush. It's just what it was.
I have been working on this the entire time we were talking, but guess what? All I've been doing is erasing the document lines
Man, let me tell you something.
before I color.
I'm borderline fucking depressed, bro, with this fucking process here. With this process of like this the workflow. Like there's really no fucking shortcuts, bro. We've been working and working and working and working and working and working and working. It's like fuck, man. Like how late is this shit gonna be?
Right.
Like
And
what the fuck, bro? Like what the fuck? Why
I'm
does this take
concerned
so
as well
long?
because the only like
Bro, I was
I
concerned. I was concerned. Remember when we were sitting in the printing lot parking lot, and you were like, "Bro, you're looking a little depressed." I was like, "Motherfucker, like, do you understand? Like, this is
well, because
crazy."
I don't know if you remember, but that particular day you were sitting in the car kind of sad, and I said, "You want me to tell you something?" And you didn't want me to tell you, but I was going to tell you that day, like this book's going to be late because.
Like, yo, just give up hope, bro. Just give up all your
Well, I
hope.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't want to say it because I thought it would end up that way to like make you lose hope. But I knew back then because as well.
I knew back
Um,
then too, but I hate that shit. I hate being
I
late with
hated
shit.
it too. I wanted to make it happen. I've tried to push at nights, like
Fucking hate
nights, and
being
I'll tell you,
late.
it goes from like 1:30 to 2:30 in the morning. I'm working, and around 2:30, it's like my eyes won't really stay open anymore. It's like they start to close, and
Nah,
I'm
shit's
drawn
impossible.
on or I'm coloring usually. And I think to myself, this is the only hope I have is squashed, like meaning there is no hope. But the first thought I have to think of hope is I think Kevin will help me finish this. But then
And
my
Kevin's
next
fucking
thought
going.
is Kevin's doing his own issue, so he can't
Fuck, bro.
help. And then I get a little depressed, like when I think, oh,
This is
it's actually all up to
depressing,
me.
bro. Like
It's actually all up to
people think
me.
I'm making a joke when I say I'm gonna cry when this is printed. I'm gonna fucking drop to the floor and cry as if I've been like abandoned on an island and finally scooped up and shit and brought back to civilization. This shit is fucking. I
Every little bit takes such time.
Oh my
I had
gosh.
completed a page earlier today, and so I transferred the page to my other computer because I'm actually going to build the whole document, in a different computer in the MacBook Pro. So I was transferring the document to the MacBook Pro, and then I ended up going back to that same page and did another about 3 hours worth of work because I was like, I could do this or that, or add a little more here. So I went back, added more, sent it
It's
back. But
fucking crazy,
it's a
bro.
slower process than I had imagined to literally just take the entire thing from start to finish. But
It's the slowest process ever.
also, there's so much more to go because then I was thinking about the lettering and stuff. So the lettering still has to get done, and I know you probably did it for a few of your pages, but for the most part the lettering has to get done. So that's this process that we're going to have to kind of be sitting
It's
next to each other, I
fucking.
think. Or
It's fucking. It's just go time, bro. Like it's been go time, but it's like fuck, bro. Like like I have so much. I have a newfound respect for any comic book on any shelf, anywhere, at any quality. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be a little bit of a snob. Where I would pick up a book and be like, ugh, like why they shortcut it so much. Like this is I don't even want to read it now. You know what I mean? But now I get it. Like I fucking get it. And now especially feel for the comics that have 2 or 3 names on them. I'm like, oh shit, these motherfuckers worked hard. These
well,
mo-
aren't you
like,
also fucking impressed by these like excellent art in so many of these books as well? It's like wow.
yeah. So like I'm even more impressed now by like Ride the Last fucking whatever the fuck it's called. that
The
Ray one,
Last
that dude did
Samurai.
he did all that shit himself. Like that dude just does every page himself painterly. Just does it all. That's what he does. And the craziest shit about it is while he's doing like full issues, he's doing covers for other people. What? What? Like, what are you talking about, guy? Who are you? Like, bro,
Because
who are you?
it's amazing when you need both your hands to make this happen, and then you realize throughout the day how often both your hands are occupied with stuff that's not. And you're like, if I could just get these hands on that other, on that
Man,
pencil, like wrapped
it's
around that pencil, wrapped around that pen,
it is
I
fucking
could get this. I could
hard.
get this ready.
That's all I know. It's fucking tough.
But you know what's
Shit.
really nice that we never had, growing up, or even so much in the last book as much Sumeria. We were working on that 2012 to 2016, whatever it was that we didn't even have as many supportive type of comic book podcasts that we could listen to, because nowadays, like I am subscribed to so many that there's a couple people live every time I log in. So I could get, like, today I was watching Richard Friend, I was watching EBS, I was watching uh, maybe there was one more today, but every day there's like two or three, and I'm getting tips from all of them, and it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
amazing.
you get some super insider tips from them, but it's still like what, like how are these guys doing it?
Well, it just feels like a new age to me, where I'm working on this comic book, and at the same time that I'm working on the comic, I'm listening to comic book artists discuss tips, or just strategies, or just bullshitting. But I'm always kind of getting something comic related now, and it's always available, which is really, really interesting time to be doing this.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really
Because we
fucking
we were
crazy.
really never able to see the creators before, unless we purchased those VHS. Uh, what was the series? Marvel Legends, or something
And
like
yo,
Marvel
Richard Friend
Greats.
is self-taught. Did you
He
know that?
also said, well, I didn't know that. He said today, though, that I guess because he's maybe I don't know what the reason is. Maybe he's working on his own projects from now on or something. But he said he's no longer doing like inks for anyone else. So that's why he was starting to talk more freely. He said about just the business and everything. He's not expecting to get work anymore. He's not vying for work. I don't know if that
Really?
meant, yeah, I probably tuned in maybe 16, 20 minutes into the stream. So I don't know if right before I came in he said why, like it was because of his own project. I don't know. But I mean, he may have come to the
Yeah, he
same
got
kind of
Blaster Kid.
realization.
Yeah, definitely check out Richard Friend and Blaster Kid, man. That dude is fucking magical with his work. His work is sick.
Blaster Kid is his book.
That's his own book. Yeah, his own
Okay, I'll
book.
check that out, because
He's
maybe
working
he
with some
kind of
colorists.
figured what we kind of figured past year or so, which is we're really never going to do. I mean, you have your paintings, which is a different animal, but we're never going to do like kind of the comic book for hire type of thing. It's basically going to be our own
No, 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 I'm not
projects.
doing that shit.
It's our own, either whether it be children's books or comic books or graphic novels. That's the thing that we're doing for ourselves. So we're not really going to be taking jobs like that. But he said the exact same thing, and I'm thinking it's because of did you say it's called Blaster Kid?
Blaster Kid, yeah.
Blaster Kid, or maybe
And
other projects as well.
looking back, hindsight is 2020. I think he just used the work he was doing for DC because he's a DC inker as a vehicle to get an audience so he can promote Blaster Kid, as he should. So he went giving all these free tips, and he was he was legit giving like early sneak peeks of like work that he wasn't supposed to disclose. Like he was like, "Listen, guys, like don't share this. don't fucking." He took a super chance, bro. He was like he's showing shit he's not supposed to fucking show, and he's fucking like, "Yo, just check this out, this and that, blah blah blah." Now he's got a super audience for 1,000. Like he got thousands of people who love him. They love him. You know what I mean? And now he's pushing Blaster Kid on Indiegogo. I think on Indiegogo he got Blaster Kid. And I hope that shit blows up. You know what I mean? So I sent him this shit, and that's when he was like, "Yo, you got some cool skills." Like remember he was like, "You fucking your gradients are smooth." I made like a joke like, "Yo, I don't like fucking your cross hatching is top notch. That's crazy. I don't have the time it's gonna take to get there, so I'm just gonna fucking do what I do." That's when he was like, "Yo, you fucking yeah, you got some really fucking smooth fucking gradients and shit." That shit gave me like a
Got you
supercharge to
pumped
keep
for a
going.
couple
Yeah, I
years.
was like, "Yeah, we're gonna fucking do what the fuck I do. God damn it, fuck it."
Yeah, I'm looking up a name here. I found a new channel the other day, and I really liked. It was like, you know how they do a recommended thing sometimes. And let me see if it's on this. If it's on my Space Window history or my comic book creation history. Oh yeah, okay. So it's called How to Draw Comics.net. So it's like a period and then net. That's the YouTube name. So How to Draw Comics, and then there's a period and then net. Um, I guess the guy was, maybe he was Australian or from somewhere. And I was like, I clicked on it and I thought to myself, let me just listen for a little while. And if I like something they say, I'll subscribe. And I started just loving everything that they were saying. So I think you would have fun listening
Yeah,
to that, Kev, because it was a artist he was talking about. Like I guess he runs a channel. I'm forgetting his name right now. I think his name's Jason something, but he's a artist, comic book artist, and he was explaining time management stuff. He was talking about what it takes to get a page done. His name is Corey Barton. No, I'm sorry, Clayton Barton. Um, he was explaining the different. Uh, I don't know how to say it. Like, like, your wife might want you to do something, and you have this other thing to do, and just kind of all the stuff you have to deal with to actually get a page out and stuff like that. So it was just like, I was just like, here, it's just like all the stuff he was saying. I
yeah, I
was like,
feel you.
yeah,
I
it's like,
fucking feel you. Shit takes yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
that like life is happening, life is moving by, and working. They were talking a lot about like working from home versus working at the office, and I know that was something that Kevin finds interesting as well, and finds viable to, like, more viable to work at work and at an office than work at home. And some people, they were saying, find more distractions at home, which is sometimes the case for me. There's some points where I can work better at home, and then there's other times, like let's say when the dog is sick or something's going on, that it actually becomes harder to work at home. So they were doing a lot of talking about those type of strategies on like what to do. And there was one guy on there who was talking about how his wife works part-time, and he goes to the office on the days that she's taking care of the kids, and when she has to go to work, he's at home taking care of the kids. So it's a good balance. I was thinking about your situation, how that's
Yeah,
similar.
real similar. Very fucking similar, bro. Yeah, this page is harder than I thought. It's coming together though. It's coming together. I think it's explains what I needed it to explain.
Let me know if you want to show something that you're working on, and I'll put it up on screen. Felicia is here. What's going on, Felicia? I thought Kev's
What up?
video about not waiting till you have a studio or the time to start working on your dream was really powerful. Hyped me up.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. That's the truth. I forgot about that video. Yeah, man, I made that video. So that video was just I made that video. Remember, I made that video on the spot. I got a call like right before work. My man was like, he said that shit. He was like, "Oh man, bro, you lucky you got a studio." I was like, "Motherfucker, what?" I was like, I don't have shit. God damn it. I was like, "Yo, I don't have nothing." Yeah, that shit put a fire under my ass too. That fucking comment. Oh, I was fired up that day, man. I was like, "What the fuck?" I damn near made that video for him. Like, yo,
Well,
look,
that
bitch.
actually
Like,
made
the
your
fuck.
buddy a little angry.
Yeah, like fuck off. I don't have a studio. You just fucking come. I just only thing that we don't have in common is fucking excuses, bro. You got fucking excuses. Get out of here, studio. It's like get out of here. You know how many sheets are like fucked up, bro, with a canvas on my bed while I'm watching TV, painting like this and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Get out of here. Crazy, crazy. Well,
Well,
thank you for that. I forgot about that.
that's one thing that is, I don't know. It's almost universal where people don't. It's like really, it's really halting to make the excuse, and it's really easy to find the excuse because it could be anything uh,
Yeah, man, it's true.
that stops you. And usually, if it really is something that stops you, what you have to do is you have to like climb over that wall, right?
Yeah, you have to, man.
Because there was this one talk I was listening to today that was talking about like any obstacle, and I mean you've heard this so many times before, but any obstacle that's kind of put in front of you, it's like a it's a test. It's like a reason for other people to quit, but it's like not a reason for you to quit. It's actually the
Yeah,
reason. It's like a
exactly.
stepping stone
It's like
almost.
whiplash, bro. Oh, TK in the building. What up, TK? Something super slow. He said, "Wow, mobile web is not fast at all. I just now realized you guys are on live right now. Super slow. Oh shit.
What's
Oh
going on,
shit.
TK?
T
TK and
Kizzles.
Future in the house. Thanks
Yeah,
for tuning
man.
in. Yeah,
True
where it's
though.
a little
True though.
weird coming on Sunday, but we were talking about Black Widow
Probably
earlier.
good you didn't come in. We gave we gave a lot of Black Widow spoilers and shit. We both saw the movie, so we were just talking about what we liked, what we didn't like scenes that happened and things like that. So if you don't want to hear about it, definitely don't rewind. Cause we told it all, goddamn.
Yeah, we had a lot to say about Black Widow, but we both liked the movie. Kevin saw it almost two times.
Yeah, it's
I
just
saw
been
it at the
it's been playing in
movies.
my house for like 3 days straight because I got it on Disney Plus. And I didn't realize you had to pay 30 fucking dollars. I didn't realize that shit. I didn't know, so I just said yes, yes, yes. I hit play, then I got the notification that I was charged $30 for it.
Well, I'm glad you
Fuck
you
that, man.
did, just so I know now that you retain
Yeah,
the
now I just been
digital
playing. I've
copy.
been playing that bitch like fucking every day, all day. Like fuck, it's $30, bro. Like get out of here. I'm getting my $30 worth.
Because I was telling my friend who's staying with me, who is getting his apartment worked on. Danny's here, and we went to the movies together. And I told him, I said, if you weren't here to go to the movies with, I would
You would
have
have got
bought
that
it
shit.
on Disney Plus, because you know what I could do is, I do prefer to go to the movies, but if I was alone like I normally am at home, what I would do now that you can is order that on Disney Plus, because let me tell you, Kev, if I go to the movie by myself, it's $24 to see the IMAX, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's fucking
So
that much
the
money
movie's
anyway.
30. What I've always wanted was to be able to watch the movie again when I got home, if I wanted to, because there's a lot of movies I walk out, and I told you I would purchase the Blu-ray, I purchased the DVD on the way out. Like, they should offer that at the movies, because I think they would, probably 40, 50, like, if you're going to get people to buy the DVD, isn't it going to be right then and there once they saw it, if the movie was good, and there's
Yeah,
so
but
many
they
movies
can't do
that I'm
that,
kind
bro.
of.
Because if I was 15 and that was a possibility, I would go to a movie and then come home. Like, yo, I'll only charge you $5 to come watch it in my house.
Right. Well, that's sort of what you can do now with this whole Disney Plus access, because, like you said, you could keep
So
playing
then,
the
then so
movie
then
over
they
and
would they
over.
would fucking sell it for like $50 for a DVD at leaving the theater.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, maybe might work.
Like, for an excellent movie, like, imagine you came out of the Matrix or something for the first time. I mean, 70% of the theater would probably purchase the Blu-ray if it was $44. Like, coming out of the Matrix, like, holy fuck, what did I just see? you know and like, a lot of
Yeah.
these movies, it kind of fades a little. Like, for these Marvel movies, like, my hype is like greatest coming out of the theater. Like, I came out of Doctor Strange thinking that's like my favorite movie. Then it faded a little bit. I didn't actually go watch it again. Same
That
thing
shit
with,
is
like,
good though. That shit does hold up still.
yeah, like, I also loved Thor 3. I would have purchased the DVD or Blu-ray on the way out of Thor 3. I had a great time in there, but it's not like I keep going back to watching those movies, So I could come home and I could turn on Infinity War, but I don't think I ever went back to Infinity War and watched it again, really. Um,
No,
but
I haven't.
for me, the reason why I say that about ordering it at home, if I was, working at home alone, what I would do is I'd play the movie, but I'd be working, right? Because I kind of can't help myself. I'm kind of like OCD. I just start working, but I would play it. I'd be working, and then what I would do is I would play it again, and just kind of catch other parts, kind of
Keep
like what you
playing this
did,
shit. Yep.
right?
Hell yeah.
I do like that idea. I may do that for certain movies if that keeps going in that direction where they're available on both the movies and especially if they, I don't know, this is like you check your email or you start looking at the internet and you realize that there's just some scary shit out there like that Delta thing and all this stuff and you're like, fuck, maybe I should stay home,
Yeah, man. It's all fucked up, man. It's all fucked up. We have some super spoilers. We let off some super duper spoilers. You wouldn't have to go see the movie if you like just heard what we said. You wouldn't have to go back and see anything at all.
Yeah, it was better that way. It was it was an enjoyable movie.
It was fun, definitely a fun flick. Like there's something about it that I can keep rewatching. Obviously, that's what I'm doing. Pretty fun, pretty fun.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should take a look at a video to find those hidden Easter eggs like you were talking
Yeah, I didn't
about.
catch it. I never catch Easter eggs, but I'm not that good.
I think I catch Easter eggs in certain movies like
I catch
Spider-Man
the
ones and
obvious Easter egg, like the gauntlet. I caught that shit. Like you catch fucking Thor's hammer at the end of fucking whatever movie it was in. I was like, oh shit, Thor's coming, or stupid shit like that. But nothing like random in the background or someone like walking in the background with a specific suit on. They're like, oh shit, that's whoever the fuck it is. I never catch that stuff. And there's some people out there that catch every fucking thing.
Sometimes I feel like I'm looking at like X-Men or Spider-Man and I see stuff on the computers that they got in the background of certain scenes. But for the most part, I think I miss the. I usually catch the videos about the
It's
the
wild.
secrets later.
It's wild. Yeah, Black Widow was dope though, man. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Liked it a lot. There was something I don't think I was in the right mood to watch it the first time I saw it. Probably since I just got robbed for $30 and shit. So I was like, fuck this movie. Like it was just everything was irking me, man. Everything was irking me.
What size is your TV? Like a 70-inch
56.
TV? 56-inch
56.
TV. And that's what you have it on, or you were like looking at it on
Yeah.
your computer?
I'm legit like 6 feet away from a 56 inch. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, it's like it's stupid, bro. It's just dumb. It's a dumb setup. Loki's actually pretty dope. I gotta watch the last show still. Yeah, I gotta watch the same shit. Loki's dope. I like that one a lot. For some reason, I didn't want to see it, but then I was like, what? Why wouldn't I want to see Loki? Loki's pretty dope. And I was happy I did. It was real quirky.
I used Loki to actually draw a lot of Albatross pages. I had Loki on, and I was just drawing. Wow, because it was a lot of talking and stuff in the Loki. There was like I think like episode 2 had a lot of action. Episode 1 was like a lot of talking, right? So I was just sitting there like while they were doing all their talking, and they would constantly like sit down and have coffee and stuff.
I didn't know Owen Wilson was in that shit.
Yeah, so I was doing like I got a little mad one time when I think it was that show, or maybe it was I started watching the Bucky and Falcon show. And I forget if it was that or the Loki, but I got mad at one of them for they just sat down and had coffee. And that was like the exact thing that I was doing at the time. And I'm like, how is this superhero show doing the exact same fucking thing that I'm doing? Like, this is not interesting. They're just sitting there having coffee. Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, do something.
That's a funny gripe. Dude, I caught an inkling of my soul reaver. It's called Legacy of Kain, Dead Son. What is that, bro? Legacy of Kain, Dead Son. Where'd you see it on? Like Netflix or Amazon? I'll watch that shit ASAP. The title is dope. Legacy of Kain reminds me of Legend of Cage. Remember that game?
Legend of Cage? No.
The game
What system is
with
it
the
for?
samurai dude. I'm talking about NES. I'm talking 1991, bro. Legend of
Yeah, I
Cage.
remember that
Dude
one.
he had the big ass stars. You do. You're jumping in and out of trees.
Oh, wait a second.
Like they came and snatched your girl. Whoosh, whoosh, and if they took your girl away, you had to fucking go
Well, no,
get her.
this is sounding like Shinobi or something. Or
It's
like
like
the
Shinobi, but it's Legend of Cage, bro. Legend of Cage. I know
sounds a
I'm
little
not. I know
familiar
I'm
now
not
that you
getting that
say it.
old. I know I'm
Yeah,
not that old.
sounds more familiar, but okay. So if I make this colors layer multiply, you're saying
Yeah, Legend of Cage, bro. This was my shit. This is my shit. Legend of Cage. All right, let me see what TK talking about. Legacy of Kane. Oh, it's a no game coming up. Ooh, okay. Let me see this
Kev, do you have
shit.
any plans to buy this PS5, or are you gonna stick with your PS4 for a while?
I'm gonna buy the PS5 when the PS7 drops, boy, and then I can get that shit for like $120 used. Oh, this character looks fire. Legacy of Kane. This is how I always want the Nika to feel, bro. What the fuck is this?
Share your
Jesus
screen.
Christ, bro.
Are you on your phone though?
On my phone. Remember how I drew Nika one time with that shit over his mouth and just his eyes showing?
Yeah.
This dude, this feels like a Nika monster. This is kind of fire though. Damn. This is
Felicia
nice.
says y'all just did a show about coffee. It was totally interesting.
It was. Very good point. Look, this is there's a guy.
That looks like the Nika drawing you did. Absolutely.
He just looks more zombie and like power fueled, where
He's got like a
manga just
smaller
look
waist.
tiny waist. Oh, let me doesn't look like I did much more on this page, man, which is just how the fucking it's just the nature of the beast, but you know. Let me
I
stop
didn't do
sounding
much
so
either.
down, bro. Let me stop sounding so down. Let me get fucking happy over here. What we do? We're doing a book, right? It's late. So fucking what is late? Come on, people.
This is the one I've been working on. It not much happened, but I did get rid of all the extraneous lines while we were talking, and I put the first color layer down of this kind of pale blue. This is page 40 of issue number 1. Sorry for the spoilers, but this is actually I won't tell you how long it is, so then there won't be spoilers. So you won't know which page this is, but yeah.
So I'm still working on the page after the Dybbuk kind of like takes a bite out the ship. So I wanted to show him hunched over in front of the ship in the snow.
Poof.
So he's gonna have that spike or whatever the fuck Dobbs through hanging out of his neck with a lot of blood. So I still got to finish off his hand and throw him on some like rubble and shit like that.
You know what you do too? A little detail that you probably already thought of and just didn't get to it yet. But on the plane, on the aeroplane, uh, the rubber tires put like snow, like
Oh
like
yeah.
it
It's gonna
has.
be it's like some snow has passed definitely. I just the last thing I did was add the snow and the foggy type deal. So I'm gonna go in and finish like adding that shit to it.
I mean, the plane itself could have snow on it too. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
So you started laying
So,
down some color on this one. Maybe we will keep working on this one.
yeah, I'm back on this one tomorrow. Definitely, I want to get
Tomorrow
this shit
night.
done. I want to get this shit done. But there's I think I want to go pretty far with kind of not washing the image out, but kind of like making it hard to see. Because there's something about every scene I see with like a monster in it or something like scary in it where you can hardly see it. It's like a faint fucking image, which makes it more fucking terrifying to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had always talked about making the Dybbuk, which is this is our main monster here, making the Dybbuk kind of only visible and clear in a couple shots, and then it would just always be kind of blurry and be hard to make out and stuff. So yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. I could see that being the case because
And
we get some close-ups of it in issue 1.
I like it
So
for a
it's
few
not like
reasons. One is it keeps it mysterious, and two, it saves fucking time because I don't have to go in there and do 1,000 little details. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm
So
sure if
it's
you got up
practical,
close and maybe bit somebody,
fucking
you would show
practical.
some teeth or something.
Feeling the smoke though. Feeling the graphic smoke over here.
And then
That's the
what's
only
that
part that was
stuff
fun.
in there is like sparking?
So yeah, it's like an open compartment that he bit. So I'm gonna add like wires and shit fizzing out of it that was in the same page before. Cause look, this is the page that happened before. This right here. So remember he took a bite right here. So
Right.
I gotta match all that stupid shit with the wires and all the stuff that's coming out of there. And then so then like when you turn the page and you see him with the same wires in his mouth and all the fizzy stuff, it's like, oh, he fucked this ship up. Like, oh, he fucked this ship up.
Yeah. So in this
Mhm.
shot here, he's gonna also have like wires coming out of his mouth.
Yep. And he's gonna be bloody because Dobbs already threw the spear through his neck, so the spear is hanging out of his neck as well. But he just doesn't give a fuck right now.
So we saw you do the page where he takes the spear out. So that was like that's right after this. Then
Yep.
TK says that picture looks mischievous.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the Dybic's a problem.
Yeah, he's a big
Dybic is
problem.
a problem. What does TK say about a console? I just don't know which console it will break out on. Oh, that game, huh? Legacy of Kain, Dead Son. So is that a continuation of the one you were talking about, Kev?
No, hell no. Legend of Cage. Now, Legend of Cage is old, bro. I'm talking like late
Oh,
'80s, early '90s.
and was
Nintendo,
that
like
with a K or with a
16
C for Cage?
with a C. I don't. I know. I'm not too sure actually. I think a C.
Maybe I'm thinking
Old,
K
bro.
because he
Old.
types Legacy of Kain with a K. So maybe that's why I was
No,
thinking of
Cage with
K.
a K. But you know
Oh,
how like it's Cage, but I'm sure if you went to Japan, it's Kagi. Legend
oh.
of Kagi. But yeah, the game is fire. Game was fire. But yeah, man. I mean, I think it's gonna wrap it up till we're back up here in a couple of hours.
Oh yeah, we will see you guys tonight for Mundo Monday. Mundo will be there tonight at around it'll be like 10 Eastern, 10:20, something like that. We will
Yep.
keep drawing. Albatross
Oh,
Junction will.
I want to show you this painting as well, man. I didn't mean to
Oh
cut
yeah,
you
for
off.
sure.
But look how this shit came out. Show this shit. It's coming out all
Oh,
right,
it's
right?
sick. Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Holy shit,
Pretty dope.
that's nice.
Oh, my man
I
with the
like the
flowers,
lettering
bro.
up there.
This is
Look at the
dope, right?
lettering.
Got the blurry
Nice.
lights in his torso. It's pretty big. It's 36, about 48. But exactly, this
Wow.
is exactly my point. Like, it's no fucking studio. I painted it right here in the corner, bro. Of a broken basement.
Yeah, well, I gave Kevin an idea for maybe the next place that he has, or if he's got a long wall to maybe put like a ledge up so that many paintings can kind of sit there, and he could work on many paintings
Yeah,
at
that's all I gotta
once.
do because I'm doing another one in this series. The same thing, just different shit in the hair, different expression. I might. No, I'm not gonna do it now. I'll probably get on it tomorrow before the show. Man, a lot going on here.
Wow, awesome. Now, do you display that on your Instagram if people want to take a look at that?
Yeah,
That
so that
painting?
this one isn't because I'm like I might
Do more to it.
do yeah I might redo those flowers because I'm always trying to like juxtapose like detailed with with real like crude and like underdone, like overdone with underdone. I'm always trying to do shit like that. So like the flowers are real childish, like real childlike, but I don't like the position, so I might just cover it and then redo them a little lower.
Mm.
But for the most part, I think it's 90% finished.
And is that acrylic?
This is oil. Well, it's actually mixed media, but the top layer is oil. Oil, man, spray paint, markers, pencils, pastels, everything in there. Then I finish it all with oil.
So when you do oil, you have to wait like 24 hours or a certain amount of time
No,
before you can
because
do another.
I cut my oil paint 50/50 with liquid, and liquid is a drying agent. That shit dries it out in like a day and a half, bro. Dry
Oh,
oil
okay.
paint, dry. Crazy.
Felicia says, "Wow,
Thank you.
a bunch of talented guys you are. Thank you." See, I got a compliment
Man,
too. I didn't even do anything. Didn't even do any nice paintings.
Trying,
Thank you.
God damn it. This Legacy of Kain Soul Reaper Dead Sun is a new game. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Games are crazy. Games are fucking crazy.
I played the first part of that game that you gave me, but I got to the part where they asked me to clean, and now I have to do the clean. No, I have to start the cleaning. I was having a good time, but there was about an hour before the cleaning where I was a robot. I walked around investigating.
So what the game you're talking about now, Detroit Become Human? That game is I don't know if you TK, you ever played this game, Detroit Become Human? I don't know if you have. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I only bought it because it was like $14 because it's so old now. I played this shit. And I was a part of the revolution, bro. I'm 80 years old, going through some like dementia or some shit. I was a part of the fucking AI revolution, bro. I fought that war. That shit is sick.
TK says 5 months ago, I just heard of it. Watch half-hour video on it.
Fire. The game is dope. Yo, just make it past the whole cleaning thing. In the beginning of the game, they ask you to clean the house, and you literally legit have to fucking clean the house. But it comes into play because then you get familiar where things are, then you know where to go and get shit when the game starts. But yo, just get past that cleaning shit, and it's the game is amazing. Amazing. Sleeper. I don't know why I didn't get as much press as it did. That shit is a sleeper. Definitely. All right, man, for the 5th time.
All right, Kev, thanks for doing this tonight.
See you mañana, man.
Fun. We'll see you tonight for Mundo Monday.
Absolutely. TK, Felicia, thanks again for stopping in.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you on Mundo Monday and also New Comic Book Wednesday around 10 o'clock right here on Comic Book Creation Live.
Yes.
If you are watching this video, want to check out some more videos about Albatross Junction, check out our other channel, Comic Book Creation. We'll see you next time.
Peace.